Kenspeckle, Kythins, a short duke into place and lead. Saft, sang, soul, scar, scunner, screch, screed, shuch, shoulder, scalp, sned, supple, snook, snick, slap, skirl. These are one of the Ulster Scots words for the glossary a poetry book wrote 200 years ago this year. Most are still familiar, but others not so common or lost altogether. In 1824, George Dougal's The Northern Cottage and Other Poems, written partly in the dialect of the north of Ireland, was printed here at 13 the Diamond, Derry, Londonderry, by William McCorkle Printers. It's easy to picture young Dougal loading his books onto a farm cart or whatever to take back out home to Gorton Leave, a wheen a mile away in Donegal. Filled with the satisfaction that his etlins to publish a collection of poetry more nor a decade old were now realised that he was a bona fide maker at last. Dougal had published by what's called public subscription, so again him, his head was likely filled with the next handling, getting his books skied out to the 350 odd folk who'd paid in advance. But isn't it good that he did it on way, for all the names and toonlands he come down to us, listed at the front of the book. Measter for East Donegal, particularly around Newton Cunningham and Derry forby. Doherty a Cosh Quinn, Seegson a Amlick, Pinkerton o Mun Glass, or Quigley o Bray Head, Miss Jameson a Castle Forward, Eliza Mackey o Cosh Quinn are lang deed, but the toonlands still read off timeless for nence style names. Rusky, Mullennan, Mun Glass, Muff, Galdna, Ruchan, Gorton Leave, Burt, Ballynacross. Like us, Dougal was into the hoozles and locality, and in his verse epistle to Mr. J.D. Acosh Quinn, the hilltops o' his Donegal are exactly the same as our own. Binyon and Dewish Hills, Errigal and Muckish Mountains, and Hollywell, now carrying the grief for TV.
The sinking sun on Virgin Day bade Eve commence her eastern sway, while on the skies far to the west our hills their visages impressed. Their binyon rose, whose vertic ray with midday meal divides the day, and Dewish, with his triple crown, the winter barrier o'er the sun, and Errigal's far jutting height, where many parting blessings light, and Muckish, wi' his livel riggin, a peat stack huge o' nature's biggin. All these and mair in rank enrolled beneath an arch of airy gold, that eastward blending seemed to fade in crimson blue and starry shade.
The glossary is a rare mixter of words still used in Donegal today by one's folk who never heard tell o'. And put to good use by Dougal, like in this bonny wee crumb sketching the scene at dusk. The bellow of coos, their feet easy trailing through the light snow back to the byre. The hungry kye begin to tire, forsake the fields and seek the byre. Wi' weary rout and empty wame, they through the snow are stoiting hame. Hirst, hamely, hap, happer, harns, purple, hod, hook, hurchin, hurdies. Earlier this year, helped with the Arts Council Lottery SIAP Award, I rec to Oronsay in the Southern Hebrides, a wonderful wild part of Sappled with Donegal monastic hirskip as it is with rain. St Columba is said to have stepped off on his way to Iona, and the old medieval priory is named for one of his comrades, Aaron. After I got back home, our broth maker, George Watt, told me that you can just about catch a glisk o' the priory o'er the water with binoculars frae Ardnave on the north tip of Islay, a place he often visits. He sent me a poem about this. Aaron had been the obvious shared lead with dialectal differences, of course. George's piece is almost a metaphor for the way Scots and Irish folk look at one another o'er the shoch, both observer and observed, wonder, gloom, dairned benmaists.
Ardnave. Did I see ye yonder frae Ardnave, through the glass, peering through the murk, flitting in and out your crumbling cloisters, habit in your Ulan grey, hooded again the smur? Hoe long hae ye bid there, spectre, ghaist, ether, attending vespers a your lane? Did the licht play spiskies? Were ye nae mair nor a shadow? A cold shiver crept up my spine. I seen ye again looking west. What did ye seek there, stonning? Waiting, aye, waiting.
Ocht, another, a mang, a maist, easel, ain, a glee, a four, a bean. Back in the 80s, Seamus Heaney set an old Irish tale called Búile Suvna, The Madness of Suvna, or Sweeney Astray. More recently, in 2022, Scots poet William Hershaw published Sweeney Agley, a Scots lead version set in modern-day Fife and Edinburgh. Agley for the title appears in Dougal's glossary as a glee, meaning awry or wrong. Sweeney is turned into a bird, or ablins it's all in his head. After various rakings and stravagans, he sets himself high in fourth brig for the poem Fourth Brig, Sweeney Thinks Anent Suicide. Here Sweeney reveals his fear, reluctance and frenzied introspection. As some words are fully pied up members o' the hamely tongue, others exist only in Dougal's glossary.
The Sweeney Agley by William Hershaw. Fourth Brig. Sweeney thinks anent suicide. I hunker atour the palings of the brig, biding on a weirdly swa, to tummel me airs Balleary until a month of moons. Half hour, a burling, vertiginous drap. Feart, a flap. I'm sweart and blate to trust this tryst with fate. Yet whar's the proof that I'll dee? I'm bird-brained, feather-baned, harns unsained, wits wadda, puggy foo, crack it as a rinnin yoke. Afore I face death's scalp, spelled her in atoms of blaw. I'll swick and juke the fall, flee somewhere, soft and soft.
Studying the subscribers, they're no long and racks nut to ye. Robert Glenn, gentle doish, no kent as that now. Gentle apparently refers to a place enchanted by the fairies. The Venerable and Reverend John Usher, Archdeacon of Raphoe, fae Sharon. Jeepers, that's a rare name for a townland. Didn't it make sense? But a wee bit of hooking, I realised I had stumbled on not only a tale for the time of the United Irishmen, but a ghost story for by Sharon Rectory, one of the most haunted houses in Ireland, filled with ghoulish gree. For back in March 1797, feared magistrate rector and early geologist William Hamilton was killed by a band of United Irishmen while trysting at the house with his friend Reverend John Waller, and Mrs. Waller was killed trying to protect him. Tak intent o Dougal's glossary, I composed a poem Etlan to bring place, history and lead together to finish our wee dinner through Dougal, and it's called The Wallen o Mrs. Waller. The Wallen o Mrs. Waller. I walled myself to save me man, took his bruckle shanks for my end, stored with him into the earth, nae thought o Wayne nor Granwayne. I never ettled an early grave, stoitin for against the grey baws, and a stramash gaed a glee, after dainties in my ain glibe. Our Gowland neighbours gathered with the life o' Hamilton wild, such braw Democrats turned rabble, the roughness o' repression drove their bullets through our windows. Maclean's and Peopleses gloaming at murder after my muckle-hearted man had gied bield to a frame. Shire the team o' Kennan, spay mife o' my lover's doom, guard to see him made widower, I looped into eternity supple as a sow. Such soft naps, baith shoulder and listening rippet for me, my menseful harns laid flicken and war on the rectory flare. My name is still Sarah forever, Deuce on my orry pad, spruchling the lang empty through my ain house. Ghoul woman I am no, but soft-minded bias love, without pree or swither or grew, may war me on the thurling cranrach, with your ain soul at its whiten, the last stir, with a gitwife settling slaw to the claret flare.
The choosing of Mrs. Waller. I chose myself to save my man, took his brittle legs for my own, staggered with them into the earth, no thought of children nor grandchildren. I never planned an early grave, dodging helpfully in front of the grey balls, in a disturbance gone astray after dainties in my own glebe. Our howling neighbours gathered, with the life of Hamilton selected, such fine Democrats turned rabble, the abundance of repression, drove their bullets through our windows, Maclean's and Peopleses, snatching at murder, after my great-hearted man had given shelter to a friend. Clear the downpour of knowing, wife prophet of my lover's doom, compelled to see him made widower, I skipped into eternity, supple as a willow. Sick, soft taps, both the shoulder and the listening ripped from me, my dignified brains left writhing in war on the rectory floor. My name is still Sarah forever, sedate on my gloomy path, traipsing the long empty through my own house. Ghoul woman I am not, but soft recalling marvellous love without taste of doubt or repulsion. My warm eye on the piercing hoarfrost of your own soul at its blaming, the last dust of a good wife settling slow to the claret floor.